My name is Christopher Scott, and I'm giving a brief devotional today from the book of Philippians. I'm going to be in chapter 1 of Philippians, verses 12 through 18, reading the text here. I'm going to be reading from the New Living Translation. So let's go ahead and start. Philippians 1, verses 12 through 18. Paul writes, "And I want you to know, my dear brothers and sisters, that everything that has happened to me here has helped to spread the good news. For everyone here, including the whole palace guard, knows that I am in chains because of Christ, and because of my imprisonment. Most of the believers here have gained confidence and boldly speak God's message without fear. It's true that some are preaching out of jealousy and rivalry, but others preach about Christ with pure motives. They preach because they love me, for they know I have been appointed to defend the good news. Those others do not have pure motives as they preach about Christ, for they preach with selfish ambition, not sincerely, intending to make my chains more painful to me. But that doesn't matter whether their motives are false or genuine. The message about Christ is being preached. Either way, so I rejoice. And I will continue to rejoice, for I know that as you pray for me and the Spirit of Jesus helps me, this will lead to my deliverance." So Paul is writing this letter back to the Philippian believers, the believers in Philippi, about what they're supposed to do about these men and women that are preaching with impure motives. And there's two applications I think we should make here. The first one is that we should rejoice when the gospel is shared. That when people share the gospel, talk about Jesus, we should rejoice regardless of the circumstances. That was Paul's whole life mission and whole goal, was to preach the gospel to Gentiles. Now he's in prison in Rome, and he still is praising those that are doing that. I remember a song I heard by Johnny Cash, "When the Man Comes Around," right? And he opens the song saying, "I saw a white horse, and he said, 'Come and see.'" And then he sings a song. At the end of the song, he said, "And behold, a blue horse or a pale horse." And he kind of talks about this vision he has. And I used to think, man, is that an old, drug-induced vision he had at some point, which is actually the book of Revelation. But it was just interesting to me that I found myself starting to criticize someone who was actually reading scripture in a song. But the application I think we should make here, based on this text in Philippians, is that we rejoice when the gospel is shared. Even if it's maybe a little different or controversial, we should rejoice that the gospel is being shared. The second application that we should make is we should praise others for their work, even if it's in our area, which is preaching the gospel or whatever our area of influence might be. So I used to work in fundraising at the United Way, and there were different people in the community that would also do fundraising, and I often struggled to praise people who were doing good fundraising because they were doing the same type of work as I am. So regardless of what our work is, we should praise people in their area, even if it's in the area that we also work in and it might be a little difficult, we might feel jealous. We should praise others for their work, even if it's in the same area of influence. My name is Christopher Scott. I blog every week at christopherscottblog.com. I write about the Bible, theology, and leadership. If you want a verse-by-verse exposition of this passage in Philippians, you're welcome to go to the link in the description that goes to my blog, and I'll teach right through the entire book of Philippians on my blog. Thanks for listening. Hope to catch you again next time.